you guys see this? Minus 16 Celsius. That was my average fuel consumption. But now it's a bit off because I've been idling. And this is a Flying J in Saskatchewan. Yeah, yesterday was plus 10 Celsius or 50 F. Everything was melting in Lloydminster. And then I wake up at 6 o'clock today to start driving, and it's minus 12 Celsius. So now I just spent like an hour on the phone trying to get my Manitoba permit. So I got my empty Saskatchewan, was 30 bucks Canadian. And now they kept me on hold here for I don't know, maybe 30 minutes. And then finally the lady answered, and she asked me for my license plate, which I had all, you know, I was ready. I wrote down my license plate, I wrote down my old permit, because that helps speed up things when you tell them your old permit, because, you know, with the same configuration. Like, I found my old permit where I was moving that pipe layer through Manitoba, right? I always keep all permits on my computer. I have a folder for each province, like Manitoba, Saskatchewan, so I can always go in. See, like this stupid thing, like there's a bad signal in here, so it shows I'm driving. You see this? It says driving in motion. It should be stationary. It should say over here stationary. And I spent like 15 minutes trying to, you know, correct this. Even hooked up my Wi-Fi from the phone, and still it would not change. And so now I'm guessing at the end of the day I will see a correction. So I need to get to a better signal area, because otherwise, well, at least this is Canada, so this hours is not an issue. And from here, this was my first stop, right after I left Lloydminster. It was very slippery over there. At one set of lights at the exit from Lloydminster, I was doing like 50 kilometers an hour, like 30 miles an hour, because I saw it was slippery. And then the light turned red, like pretty far. So I hit my brakes, and I know on a slippery road you gotta be careful when you have like a multi-axle rig.
Next right onto Marquee Drive.
And so I look in the mirror, my Jeep goes this way, my trailer goes that way, my booster goes this way, like everything started, you know, folding. But of course the only way to correct that is take your foot off the brakes like for a second, and then right away everything starts getting in a straight line, and then you slowly push the brakes again. Yeah, it was a bit scary. Okay, I think over here we have 2 lanes turning left, or 1. I think it's only this one.
Turn left onto Louis Rideau Trail to Saskatchewan 11 South.
And over here there's a big hill. So coming this way, I saw my trailer was pretty much touching the ground over here. And so I raised the trailer, and I went back to check on my booster, and the booster is flat. I mean, you know, those big airbags.
Continue on Rail Trail for 4 kilometers.
The big airbags were flat. And I tried to change the, you know, that ride height control just to check if there's air coming in. So I increased it, nothing. No hissing. I dropped it, no hissing of the air, which means that the booster is frozen again. And that just, you know, added more to my resolve to just drive empty. Like, there's a mess right now with all these borders being closed. And I just checked the comments. Some people are leaving really funny comments. Like, I'm in Saskatchewan, going to Ontario. And one guy says, how are you going to cross with all these borders closed? Like, come on, guys. Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario. There's no borders. I'm in Canada now. But yeah, there were some loads. You know, a friend of mine says, post your truck in Saskatoon and Winnipeg on the Canadian load board. And he says, maybe somebody will call you. And but see, my booster froze, and I ordered that exhaust kit for the car, so it's coming to Buffalo. So like, I lost patience, honestly. I lost patience. Okay, no, it's not this one, it's this one. I lost patience with this, and the weather's unpredictable, right? One day everything melts, then everything freezes on the next day. So I just had it with Western Canada. So, and plus all these protests, people get stuck at the border. So if I would find a load from here to go to US, I would be in trouble, because I think the only border that's still open is the way I came in, which was Portal, North Dakota.
600 meters, use the right lane to take the Circle Drive route to Saskatchewan 11 West Trans-Canada Highway.
And that's why I thought that it would be just, you know, safer to go back home. Yeah, I know it would cost me 2,000 bucks Canadian just in fuel, because it's 3,000 kilometers or 2,000 miles.
Right lane to take the Circle Drive route and keep left.
But I did post my truck in Winnipeg, you know, so I might stay there. Like right now I'm 400 kilometers away from the Manitoba line, so I'm not gonna even make it today, because it's already 2 o'clock east, and what is it, I think it's like 1 o'clock over here. I don't want to drive after dark. And so I'll be in Winnipeg tomorrow, which is Saturday, right? And a friend of mine was saying, like, this, the freight broker from Alberta, his advice was stay in Winnipeg till Monday. And now I'm thinking, you know what? I think I'll just go. Like, this is a tricky turn in here. But the guy next to me slowed down. He understood the danger. Yeah, there's gonna be a few lights over here. And then this turns into Canada 16. Yeah, and I know that booster it'll thaw off in warmer weather. And also when I stop, I just have to put more. I'm gonna drain all my tanks and put more anti-freezing, you know, like that brake anti-freeze. Like it's pretty much alcohol. But yeah, I'm not gonna take it apart again just like I did last time, but since I don't have a load, I don't need that booster to work. Because if it puts down pressure on the last axle, then it can start going sideways, you know, which is dangerous. So it's actually for when you're empty, I don't care. And so yeah, the Saskatchewan permit to run empty on 9 axles was 30 bucks Canadian. And Manitoba was $43. And I told the lady on the phone, I said, hey, you guys are doing good today, because I said usually Saskatchewan permits are 2-3 times more money than Manitoba. I said this time you beat them. And she was amused by my attempt at humor with a government official. And they still charge me for being overweight. I said, what? What do you mean overweight? She says, on your steer axle. She says, we allow 6,000 kgs, and you are, what am I? Basically, I said, I'm 15,000 pounds. And I gave her all numbers in pounds, and then I said, can you convert them? And so she converted them, and she says, you're more than 6,000. And so that's what they... I think that's why probably it's more money, because in Saskatchewan I was legal weight. Oh, and I went past that scale where they gave me the ticket, and it was closed. By the way, in case somebody's curious, so the ticket was 2,400 Canadian, right? For being overweight on the tri-dump because the booster malfunctioned. You know, like they say, well, wardrobe malfunction, this was booster malfunction. So stuff happens, you know. And I found a lawyer, a law firm in Saskatoon. They said, we charge by the hour. What? What is this? Like some kind of a murder investigation? You know, like with a trial? Why are you charging by the hour? She says, yeah, we charge $2.25 an hour, and we need a down payment for 3 hours. She says, if we don't use up the entire 3 hours, we'll give you the money back, but we need $750 Canadian up front. And I said, wait, you want $750? My fine is $2,400, right? So what do you expect? Even if you cut the ticket by half, which, you know, can happen, right? If you cut it from $2,400, let's say to 1,000, or let's say 1,200, right? 1,200, and I owe you $750. That's $1,950. Plus probably there'll be tax. So I said, I'm sorry, but for me, you know, if the fine was 10,000 bucks, right, then yeah. But $2,400 and they want $750 up front. I said, I appreciate you reaching out, but I said, unless you can guarantee me that you will dismiss the ticket entirely, it doesn't make much sense for me to, you know, to waste my time with a law firm, because your fee is too high compared to the actual penalty. This Highway 16, I forgot that it's actually 2-lane highway. You know, Trans-Canada 1. Not sure what town is this. We'll know in a second. I think it's Lanigan. Lanigan. Sounds like a cowboy's name. Hey, Lanigan. What's with your horse? Too much cold vodka. Jim? Oh, man. So, wow, they have a Subway. Diesel price on the left. $1.48.9 Canadian per liter. $1.48. Yeah, two of these guys were following me, I don't know, 40 minutes. You know, like I'm driving 91 clicks an hour, minding my own business. The road is open. And he's just, I could see he was trying to, like, half-heartedly to pass me, but I even went to the left lane to show him the lane was open. I slowed down to 80 kilometers an hour. I don't know what's wrong with that guy. He must be smoking something. Then eventually, after like 30 minutes going behind me, he decided to turn to pass me on a turn like this. You know, instead of waiting for there were plenty of opportunities for a straight line where the visibility is like 50 kilometers. Instead, this guy was waiting for a situation like this, you know, where you cannot see far enough, and he just passed me basically without a regard for anybody's safety, because I guess he got tired of and I'm thinking, wait a second, what am I supposed to stop? Like, I slow down, he cannot pass me at 80 kilometers an hour, all right? So it's not my fault. And the traffic is very light. Very, very light. And so eventually that container guy in the front passed me, and then this guy behind him in Yellow International quickly passed me as well. Like, honestly, people just don't know how to pass, you know, safely. And so they don't pass you when it's safe, and then they get fed up and they just pass you. Kind of like a, you know, I have a feeling some of these guys are like a deer, you know. They sit on the side of the road, they're afraid to cross, and then eventually they say, screw this, and they just run across. And it doesn't matter if there's a cars are coming or trucks, they just want to get across. And I get the same feeling about many truckers, you know, because they don't know how to do it safely. And then eventually they say, oh man, I'm not gonna be stuck behind this guy till, you know, till we reach Thunder Bay. So yeah, then maybe you should, you know, I think it's the problem is quite often they come too close. And I remember I mentioned once a guy was screaming at me at on the radio. I was trying to be helpful. I was trying to tell him when it's safe, but then I realized, like, actually you're not supposed to do that. It's his responsibility. But okay, but back then I had the oversized load, so he could not see very well. And that road, we were on Highway 17 and 11, it was going like this all the time, you know. But here, like, look at this. Like, I can see probably 10 kilometers ahead. The sky is clear, right? Perfect visibility. And that guy would just sit behind me and wait, I don't know for what. Second coming. All right, what do we have here? You see, like, that's the problem with all these. It's okay, it's a co-op. Maybe I can find something like this, you know, like a co-op. But do they have diesel? Yeah, they do have diesel, but it's a card lock. And I don't know how that works, you know, like, can you get diesel over there? Because some of these places, you know, you go to the building where there's an attendant. Oh, check this out, lots of heavy metal over here. Yellow iron, some grader trucks, scissor trucks, scrapers. Yeah, sometimes, you know, you go to the main building, like in Esso, like when I'm in Northern Ontario there, like there's an Esso and it's a card lock. And I don't have the Esso fuel card, but the guy, there's a booth there near the gas pumps, and what this guy does is they have a special card, fuel card, for a situation like this. And so he comes over to the diesel pump, he puts that card in, he starts the pump, and then he waits till I finish fueling, then he takes the receipt, and then I pay him inside his little booth, you know, with a credit card. So that's how they do it sometimes. But yeah, my fuel, the main tank is halfway between 1/4 and 50%, maybe closer to 1/4, but over here I'm over 50%, which means I still think I still have probably 1/3 of the tanks, and the most I ever was able to put in, if I'm totally empty, was 200 gallons, like 197, 198. Even though my tanks are, technically it says 150 gallons US each side, but I don't know, it's maybe because the tanks are round at the bottom, but that's the biggest amount I was able to put in when already the light was blinking, a red light, low fuel. So 200 gallons, which is pretty much, what is it, 378. 378 is 100 gallons, 378 liters, right? So you have 380 times 2, 760. 760, let's say 800. 800 liters, that's usable capacity. So 1/3 of that is definitely more than 200 liters. And I need 200 liters to get to Winnipeg. So I know there's much more stations on. I don't take this Highway 16 often. I usually take Highway 1 because there's much more fuel stations on Highway 1. But this time, you know, I'm driving under a permit, right? I have the oversized permit, and I told them, I said, I'm on Highway 16 all the way from Alberta to Manitoba border, and so I'm not supposed to leave this, right? But of course, if there's an emergency, if I'm short on fuel, I'll have to find some kind of a fuel station where I can use my credit card or debit card. I don't care, because I cannot get stuck in this weather because it's very cold. I cannot get stuck without fuel somewhere. But it should get warmer. So still minus 19, okay. But I'm gonna hit Yorkton in 31 clicks. Like a little bypass over there, Saskatchewan 16A. But yeah, I think I'll be driving till it's, you know, until either I find some parking or until it gets dark. And I still have, what is it, 4:40 now. I still have 1 hour 20 minutes to drive. But after darkness, I don't like driving here because there's lots of deer, you know, sometimes even moose. I don't want to take that chance. And then probably by lunchtime tomorrow I'll be in Winnipeg, go to the Denny's, have some quick brunch, and I think I'll keep going. I'll keep trucking. Maybe get to Dryden, Ontario, because from Winnipeg it's 2 hours to Ontario border, and then it's 2 hours to, I think it's 2 hours to Dryden, maybe 4. So and then after Dryden, the next is what, Thunder Bay. And because I'm empty this time, I might go near the lake, you know, at the bottom instead of the top, because it's a bit faster, but there's more hills, but it's more picturesque. We'll see. But yeah, I don't think I don't think I'm waiting till Monday. Like originally I wanted to sit in Winnipeg till Monday. For what? I don't want to go into US. There's all kinds of the border in Emerson is blocked, I'm pretty sure, you know, Manitoba into North Dakota. So I'm just going empty home. Screw this.